My name's Matt Winton. I'm the 2021 World Brewers Cup champion. Originally I'm from Australia and I moved to Switzerland about 5 years ago, where I've been living in Zurich and working there in coffee ever since. It's been pretty crazy. I think it's been a lot of fun and a lot of new experiences, a lot of travel and a lot of meeting new people and getting to work together with some awesome people just like you guys. To be honest, it didn't really sink in. And then it took a few weeks and I was like watching a video or like hearing it enough times that then someone's like, oh yeah, you won. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I actually won. So it took a little while to sink in, and then now it's like, oh, it's really cool and very nice. Most of the preparation was actually in the week before competing. So in the build-up, like the months before, I was coming up with the idea, and all of that time I've been thinking about the blending idea. But then to actually do it and to figure out which coffees, I traveled to Ecuador, I found one of the coffees there, the Catucaí. I talked to people about different ideas of blending and tried to find the other coffee that I would use. But then in the end, the last week in Milan was the most intense. That was when I got together with Sam, with Tom, and we just worked. We pulled apart everything and built it all back up together to be as tasty as possible. So most of the work was done right then. In the open service, the biggest thing that I was doing was the blending. And I think realizing that the blending concept was something totally new and it had to be presented in its own way. I tried many ways of figuring out how to tell that story of the blending and how to introduce both coffees and actually making it work together and all the things that I did then. In the end, it was just as simple as introducing one coffee, introducing the other one, realizing that they were better together, and then telling the story of how we made it better through our brewing. There wasn't any other big story, but I just really wanted to support and give recognition to those farmers. The biggest tip is to read the rules. You need to be able to understand everything in the rules to be able to push everything further. I think also going more simple rather than more complicated. For me, it was about doing things as most simple as possible. Just, okay, what am I here to do? What's the most important thing I need to do? I need to brew a tasty coffee and I need to give the flavor notes really clearly, and everything else is sort of like built around that. So that was why offering this sort of experience in like how that they were going to drink it and what they were going to taste was a little bit more important than talking about the farm and the processing and things like that. I think I'd first been hearing about Stronghold from a few different other professionals in the industry. There was lots of people that roasted on a Stronghold that are respected, that make great coffee, but I never got to really put my hands on it too much. And then just last year, a few months ago, I started to roast a little bit more on them with David in Italy, and literally as soon as I got on it and started roasting, I did 2 batches of a really nice wash geisha from Ecuador, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm very, very happy with this. It makes such tasty coffee very, very easily. And as I started to taste that coffee like day 2, day 4, day 10, even up to like 2 months after the roast, it was still really, really tasty, really, really clean, exactly how I wanted it. So I knew that moment that it was like, this is the machine that's going to make it easy enough for me to make really tasty coffee time after time. In my experience, I think with the Stronghold, it's really easy to get flavor. Like, it's a very flavor-forward roaster. The body is there, it's really nice, the acidity there, it's really nice, the sweetness, but then it's just so easy to get lots of flavor out of the coffee. With some other roasters, you might be missing something. You miss a bit of body, maybe you miss a little bit of the flavor, maybe you miss a bit of the acidity, depending on the roaster. But then with the Stronghold, it's really good just to get a really nice round picture of the whole coffee. And it's definitely the kind of coffee that I want to drink regularly. I'm excited to start roasting. It's going to be super cool to actually get the machine in Zurich. We're going to start roasting. It's going to be like the main thing. I think there's still a lot for me to learn. It's not because I need to in order to get a good cup, but it's because I'm really interested to see what effect each part of it has. I mean, at least for me, I'm really nerdy like that though. Like, I like dissecting and playing around with things, so it's super cool. I'm looking forward to it a lot.